Oh, guess what, guys?
What?
I was the champion of WWE today.
No, I wasn't.
They call me Pounds, here I'm known as 9-7. 8 customs create, plus I rhyme great. We are Venom. YouTube, welcome back to another 978 Customs video. And right now we have Logan from the Venomverse. Pretty cool character. I felt like I needed to make him and then some other ones after making Black Panther. So I may do some Venomverse characters, but it'll be spare the moment kind of things. I'm not too familiar with the story. I don't have the Edge of the Venomverse 4. I know it picks up off Old Man Logan's story, so it has to do with the Baby Hulk. And you know, I don't know too much, so I don't want to misinform you. But he is from Edge of Venomverse issue 4. But like every other character in the Venomverse, he got recruited by Captain America and joined him on the mission to fight the poisons. Nothing too fancy going on with the design. It's just black and white, but the silhouette makes it look pretty cool. Wolverine looking pretty neutral, not as ferocious as he could be or should be in this state. And I'm not too happy with that, to be honest, but overall I do like it. A few things I wish I could have done. One of them was the shoulder pads. The design has shoulder pads, and he has some tendrils depending on what image you're looking at. So the tendrils weren't such a big thing, but the shoulder pads could be a make or break thing for some people. For me, it's not a break thing. It doesn't really matter, but I think it would complement it more due to it not being so much white on it already. So if you had that white on the shoulder pads, it would pop it out a little more. But I'm not mad at it. To be honest, I'd rather trade in the shoulder pads for a more ferocious face. That I prefer, like sharp fangs and an open mouth. And in a way, I wish I bought Black Bolt just to resculpt over his face. But maybe one day in the future. And I don't even know if his head actually his head should fit this body. But yep, this Wolverine is from the Venomverse. If you want to see some reference shots, here it is. What has now become the screensaver on my phone. I love this image. Main characters from the Venomverse. You see Wolverine unmasked. He has some cool shoulder pads. Issue 4 from the Edge of the Venomverse. And this is a variant. Logan versus the T-Rex. Pretty dope. This picture I'd never seen before. One thing about Wolverine though, I noticed that he's kind of gray compared to all the other ones. This is the main picture I kind of worked off the most. I almost made that face with the symbiotic goop forming over his face, not completely covering his human form. But seeing I only had one head to spare, I had to make the most out of it. Kind of disappointed with not being able to make a Venomized head with the tongue and the fangs, because that would have been the icing on the cake. I think if Hasbro ever releases a Venomverse Wolverine, it should have two heads. A unmasked head and then the Venomized, nasty looking, super crazy, mean Venom. Like, I'm sorry, that was a whack description. But I have this head here. It's not the head I'm looking for. It was just the extra head that came on a vintage Wolverine. I painted it black. I wanted to paint the sides white, but I felt like I didn't know what to do. His eyes were white, so if I painted that white, his eyes would have to be black. And then I decided maybe painting the middle white, but I didn't know what to do, so I just left it all black, just left the eyes white. It's extra. If you want to make yourself a Venomverse Wolverine or Venomverse Logan, all you really need is a vintage Wolverine figure. Hopefully you guys can find them kind of easy. For me, it's rough. To be honest, I've only found 2 in the wild. And 3, actually. 3. And one I had to leave, and I went back a week later and had to pick it up. And this is what it was. So I'm glad I picked them up. But anyway, grab yourself one of those. Sand around some of the moving parts. And give it a nice paint job, and you should have this. If you want to see some work in progress pictures, I think I have a few. This is not Wolverine, but this is to show you as much as I'll usually take a figure apart. You take off those hands and feet as well. On rare occasions, I'll pull the pins apart, but usually I don't. And I just wanted to show you how much I'll kind of take the figure apart. But anyway, once I did, you put it back together and you give it a paint job. I did the head first, then I did some of the body, usually the left side. Then I'll do the right side. And just to make sure everything is on, I'll take a picture with better lighting and check for any flaws or any possible paint rub before I finalize it. I believe he's one of the coolest and cleanest customs I've done so far. Like every Marvel Legends, you can move this figure around without the worry of it rubbing. His head does go left, does go right. You can move it up and down. painted in the back and front. Butterfly joints will move, and I think that's pretty cool. I like butterfly joints. I'm such a fan of those. I think every Marvel Legend needs them. Arm goes up, and arm does still swivel. You can have fun with this. Get him in his cool dynamic posing. Arms rotate, waist swivels, leg splits, crunch, crunch, splits, splits, twist, knees, elbows, wrist, ankles. If you want to see how this Logan compares up to another figure from the Venomverse, here we got Black Panther from the Venomverse. And I like them both standing together. Just the matte look on both of them and the white, the pure white just kind of pops. So having a whole wave of these guys, I can imagine what they look like. I think they can get kind of boring, to be honest, just after having a couple black and white figures. Black has always been a cool neutral color for me, so it'll never get old to me personally, but I know for some it could get a little boring. But here's another one.
My friend, you jump in the wrong
Come
place.
on, man.
What?
You don't got nothing else to do?
I got something. I right here.
I am happy the Venomverse is coming along. Symbiote Spider-Man is not mine. He's just the regular Marvel Legends. I had to mat him out in order to match the rest of these figures. Just because it looks better when you take pictures. Light bounces. I don't know. The more shiny the figure, the more reflective the light is. So the more matte it absorbs light. So it looks better in pictures. And this is Venom here, if you, just to give you a perspective on what the factory Hasbro figure looks like. It's a bit more glossy, which I think looks good too, to be honest. Originally I had pork rind down there glossed out like the Hasbro figure, but I matted him just to get him lined up with the rest of these guys. I didn't do it to Venom because I'm going to have to use this Venom for something else eventually. I have a few of these, but I'm just going to use him while I have him out. But again, they do look nice together, and I look forward to a Venomverse wave. I know Hasbro has one up their sleeve with the Venomverse movie coming out. Depending on the sales and how it does, I know they're going to have a lot of Venom merchandise, so I look forward to it, honestly. Venom and Spider-Man go hand in hand, so instead of just Spider-Man waves, usually I'm only excited about Marvel Legends Spider-Man wave. I could care less about every other wave unless it has a Spider-Man figure in it, or Wolverine, or possibly a Deadpool. But to have Spider-Man and Venom waves is great for me because now it's two waves I can go for. I've had this pork rind done for a few months, maybe a year now. I wouldn't even say that. Maybe like almost a year. But I've liked them so much that I decided not to get rid of him. He's part of my collection and will remain part of my collection until Hasbro releases a pork rind. But I do enjoy it. I think just the small figure in your hand, you can still put it in dynamic poses. If you guys are wondering why he's so small, I did a couple modifications to him. You can look it up. I got a video. If you want, click this card to check out Pork Rind's review. Or if you want, check out this card for Black Panther's review. Or if you want, check out this card for the Spider-Man review I had when it broke. Because it was terrible. When I first got Spidey, he broke. But I do like this Wolverine figure. And I think you will too. You can get started. It's pretty easy. Just like the Black Panther we did on a tutorial. It's pretty much the same paint process. Wolverine's preparation is a little different than the standard Bucky cap. But here is pork rind on this little stand I've had for a long time. It's kind of broken. These things are kind of fragile. Tamashi stands. But I do like them, and I think I need to get a bunch of them once I have my display set up. As soon as I get a little display glass. But I like it a lot, man. I like it a lot. I mean, pork rind could be bigger, but it's not about pork rind. It's about Wolverine. Again, I think the only flaw for me is that I don't have two things. A Venomized head and the shoulder pads. So I know my own flaws in this figure, but other than that, I think it looks good and it will pass. And if Hasbro released it without shoulder pads, I'd buy it. But seeing that the Tiger Stripe Wolverine is going to have shoulder pads, I look forward to buying that one. There's not much else to tell you guys other than thank you very much for coming to another 978 Customs video and showing your love and support every time. Because without you, it's just me and a bunch of figures. So I appreciate it. And if you like this video and you want to see more Spider-Man and Venomverse Customs, feel free to like, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you on the next one.
Sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing.